So, on to the main attraction. Boop, 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 drop the beat. Oh, we don't have anything for that?
No, dude, this is a broke dude podcast. Bro. This is some professional fucking production.
That's the intro. Boop, 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 drop the beat.
That's what we paid for.
Run the Jewels.
RTJ 4
came out. This was the first one I listened to.
Mm-hmm.
The first Run the Jewels album I listened to.
What'd you think? I mean, not to jump straight into the overall, but what was your feeling?
I fucked with it. Like, I mean, let's just jump into the beats, so that way we can get to the overall and have that conversation.
So I want to start this off by saying that LP.
You like men?
Yes, no. I'm going to come out of the closet this episode. But no, LP does the production for all Run the Jewels albums. The first time I listened to this album, my initial reaction was, "Ooh, I'm not a fan." Listening to, I've known LP forever. Aesop Rock came from LP's now dead label Def Jux. When Def Jux was around 20 years ago, these were closer to the kind of beats that he was doing back then. They were really wonky, and there's a lot of shit going on. And I wasn't a huge fan of them. Now, the more and more I listened to this album, the more and more they grew on me, to the point now where there's only really a song and a half that I don't like the beats. Yeah.
It was kind of like, it seemed short to me for some reason.
It's only 11 tracks. It's
11?
like 40 minutes long. Yeah.
That was the first thing I noticed, was that it was short. But yeah, like I didn't love the beats on all the songs.
Mm-hmm. That's where I'm at too. It's like I don't hate them, but I'm not a huge fan of most of them. You know,
Just is my favorite.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That's probably because Pharrell did it.
Yeah,
right.
No,
or he's just
on
feature.
It. Yeah,
no,
yeah.
Pharrell did it.
No, he's just a feature.
He did the beat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't see him being on a song and not doing the beat.
I was gonna say, because LP does most of the production for Run the Jewels.
You'll know when Pharrell does a beat because he always does 4. Dun, 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 dun,
right before the drop.
Yeah, he always does.
And that's probably why, because it was probably the simplest beat on the whole album, but it wasn't like simple.
Produced the entire thing, but I know he had something to do with the beat on the.
Yeah.
Like overall, like that was just my favorite one. It was. I should get out my earbuds and listen to it right now, but it was just simple. Like there wasn't a whole lot of fucking.
It was all LP.
Was it?
Yeah.
All right.
And then
on that one.
Josh Homme, the lead singer of Queens of the Stone Age.
But Pharrell was in the hook, right?
Yeah, he was on the hook on that one. And Josh Homme was on, I can't remember which one he was
that
on.
That probably cost him a little bit, huh?
There's
having Pharrell on the hook.
Right.
I wish I could do that.
Ain't cheap.
Yo, $50 million for me to say three words.
And there was a lot of features that weren't credited on there. Like at the end of the album, that whole Yankee and the Brave thing. The guy that does the speaking part was a country singer, and then Aesop Ferg does part of the final outro, like when it's like Yankee and the Brave, familiar. Brave. Yeah, it was some country singer and Aesop Ferg, and I had to go and look it up, and that's who they credit it with. So they're not even a quote unquote feature on the album, but there's several tracks. Like I don't think Gangsta Boo is officially featured on Walking in the Snow. That was a fucking way different song than her first feature with Run the Jewels. Because her first feature with Run the Jewels, the hook is, I got my dick in your mouth all day. It's a song all about sex.
Her first feature?
When she sings, the hook is, I got my clit in your mouth all day. It switches when the dudes are rapping and she's rapping.
Is the half of the beat that you liked Holy Calamafuck?
Yep.
Yeah, the last half of it?
That's the one that I liked.
Yep.
The beginning half I didn't like.
Same.
Yep.
I'm going to.
I made a note.
I got to listen to these because
it's going to be weird.
Can I give my opinion?
Yeah, it had to give the 1.5, yeah.
You going to do the beats or just the whole thing? Get it over with.
The beat.
Yeah, my prediction's coming in where Blake is going to hate it. I think Jake will not like the beats, but like the lyrics. And Chris, I think, would like it. So those are my predictions coming in.
The only beat on the entire thing I liked was Just.
Just?
That was the only song that I liked.
Really?
Yes.
I had a feeling that was going to happen.
We're just doing beats, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I'll leave it.
I'm with you there on that beat.
See, I don't mind the beginning of Holy Clamafuck.
See, it wasn't like I said. It's weird because to pick the ones that I didn't like was basically picking the. It was easier for me to pick the ones that I loved. The two that I love, I really fucking love. But the ones that I didn't like were the beginning half of Holy Clamafuck and The Ground Below. And it wasn't that I hated them. It was just they were the bottom of the album for me.
Mine was Goonies versus E.T. and Out of Sight. I didn't like either of them beats.
Yeah. But I didn't hate any beat on the album. Like after the initial shock reaction I had to the album, like listening to it the second and third time, I was like, okay, they fit with the songs they're going to, and two, they're not as bad as my shock reaction to them were. Because that's the big thing is the production on this album is way different than the other three. Like there's a lot more busyness to the tracks, and then there's a lot more going on in the production than the other three.
Here's my notes. As far as beats go, beats all over the place and very loud.
Yeah, I agree.
I hated it.
Yeah.
I put terrible beat selection. And yeah.
And like I said, like I had a feeling you weren't gonna like it initially because I was just like, man, like when I listened to RTJ 1, 2, and 3 the first time, I was like, oh fuck yes, let's do this. This one, my initial reaction was, I don't like this. That's right. And it wasn't until I got to the second and third listens of the album that they started to really connect with me, and then I was like, okay, I don't mind them anymore.
Like as far as favorites go, like Just was one. Like Just and A Few Words for the Firing Squad are tied for my 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Or 1A and 1B, because the way that A Few Words Firing Squad like kind of ramps up, and
that was one of my
that
was one of my two favorite beats was that one too.
And it's the simple ones. Like there's just so much going on in that shit. I'm trying to listen to the beats and blah blah blah.
I like the production. Like the two that I chose for worst beats, I had to like try to find bad ones.
Yeah.
I didn't mind the beats. Like I liked how they were just, it's moving and dancing from all over on your head. And
Yeah, I felt like it was World War III in my head.
yeah.
And I think that's what he was going for. I mean, if you listen to the lyrics on the album, it fits exactly. And that's why, like I said, my initial reaction was, and then as I listened to it again and again, I was like, okay. And since Wednesday, I've listened to the album full every day, except for the weekends, which I don't. I work 8 hours a day. I have headphones in. It's easy to go through albums.
I put message was clear but hard to hear.
Yeah, that's the very first thing I noticed. Like specifically with LP, like whenever he raps, I can't make out what he's saying.
Yeah,
because he's
kind of mush mouthy,
mumbling.
Yeah, he's kind of mush mouthy.
Yeah, it's his cadence mixed with the beats being so fucking loud.
That Brooklyn fucking mouth.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind. It's just turn the beats down so I can hear your ass.
I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, but I think Killer Mike's rap voice is trash.
Really?
Yes, I would put that in this category as Kendrick Lamar's voice.
You don't like Kendrick Lamar's voice?
No,
Nah, he's
I
weird
can't
like that.
stand it.
Bro,
Damn.
I'm not saying he's a horrible rapper. He's very
you
good
respect
at
what he
rapping.
does.
Yes.
It's just not for you.
I just
Yeah.
can't.
I'm a little there with you on Killer Mike. Like some of his flows were just kind of like, but I like how he's kind of just bouncy, and
It's
some of them were just very like preachy instead of like riding the fucking beat or the pocket,
But at the
just
same time,
doesn't
like those beats were so
sound
weird. I don't
true.
know how you
That
ride
is
them.
true.
Like there's that one where he goes bum 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 with the beat, and that was the only time I was like, okay, you're synced up. Everything else was like, there's no way to sync to this beat.
his voice isn't very ear pleasing to me.
Yeah.
Like
See, I
it's
don't-
very God damn it, what's the word? Like what he's doing, not rapping. Like being
Spoken word, like being a poet.
no, like God damn it, I just went blank.
It's like
Yeah.
playing charades with your bitch.
Like
ass.
when you fucking
Fishing?
no, like when you're talking to
His
people.
cadence?
preaching.
not preaching. I don't want to use that word.
His cadence.
No,
When
his
you're
like
lecturing.
I guess, or like if you're at a like I don't know. Anyways,
at a
it's
rally.
yeah, it's like very rally-ish. Like I'm proud, you know, like I'm at a riot. I'm trying to talk to these people. Like that's how it sounds to me when he's rapping.
I guess that's
So
part of the reason why I like
emphasis
it.
off for you, kind of.
yeah, it's like it doesn't it. I just turn it off as soon as he starts rapping. I'm just like, it's so loud. It's so like blatantly in my face.
I
and
see what you're saying. I think that's part of the reason why I like it, because it sounds like he wants to get his message across, and he's gonna enunciate
an activist.
words.
Like like
yeah, I can see that.
And
activist.
that's the
rapping.
kind of album this feels like. You know what I mean? Like,
100%.
And I can see that not being your style, and so it'd be off-putting. Like I said, I have 3 pages of the lyrics written down in here because and one of them is just walking in the snow and fuck right underneath it because
bars.
I mean, fucking Killer Mike's verse is the shining example of that song, you know. But LP's verse is still fucking great in that song, you know. And the lyricism is so fucking good. It's so good.
And I couldn't appreciate it until I actually sat down and read along with the song, because you can't fucking hear anything. It's like, I don't want to hear what you say, but god damn it, turn the beat down.
And that's
You got fucking bombs going off in your ears.
Right.
Hold on, what was that?
And unfortunately, like sometimes that's what it takes with this kind of hip hop is once you hear, so like sit down and listen to it and read the lyrics once for every song. Every time you listen to it after that, you can pick it up.
Yeah.
But it takes that initial going in deeper than just putting it in your ears and going, okay.
That's what makes me afraid for albums like this and like Aesop is they're wanting to get a message across, but it's so woven that the people that need to hear the message that don't understand this shit don't understand the music either.
Yeah.
They can't fucking pick it apart good enough to know what the message is even being told, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I think it's great, but like spell it out a little bit more for the retards in the room.
Yeah, like have West Side Gun on your album.
Right?
Yeah, literally.
Oh, I get it now.
Spell it.
Today's word is fuck.
Like
That's why I lean more toward the production on this album, because I could feel the beats, but the lyrics and just the message, it wasn't like clear enough, I guess. I had to dig to try and go, what the fuck are they talking about here?
yeah, like
And then there were songs where like LP was talking about one thing and Killer Mike was on a different subject, and they're talking about like he wants respect, he wants to like be immortal, and people to remember his activist like as a legend.
aren't they
you know?
one and the same?
What?
Respect and being immortal.
Yeah, but LP's was more like, I've been in the rap game forever, motherfuckers.
Oh, okay.
And you ain't
So
gonna
like
be
he
no-
wants his flowers basically.
And I think part of that comes from the whole reason Run the Jewels formed is because they were two 40-year-olds that wanted to rap like they were 12 again. And it slowly grew into this, like as they've gotten progressively more and more, I want to say Rage Against the Machine as they've gone on. So it's gotten more, they've gotten more about the message than it was just rapping about their dicks like it wasn't RTJ1, you know, like
Which is fine.
Yeah.
But choose some fucking beats I can hear you on.
Yeah, it's like
I
when we
think
were
go back and listen to RTJ2.
I like to.
I think I think that's more your style.
Okay.
And I don't mean that bad. I just, the production is way fucking out there on this
I haven't
one.
listened to 3 yet, but I listened to 1 and 2, waiting on 4 to come out, and 2 was nice.
2 was
In my
collectively
opinion.
considered their best album. Well, until this one. A lot of people think this one has surpassed 2. I'm more of a fan of 3 than I am 2, but I mean, all their albums are fucking great.
I'll have to listen to 2, 3, and 4 like same day.
Yeah. I think they're all fucking great. They're all different though. Like I said, this one's more activism-y than anything they've also done. 3 was kind of a hybrid. Like you could tell that was the middle ground between them being those braggadocious 12-year-old, 40-year-old rappers and being activists too. And so it's, I don't know. I initial reaction was bad for this album, but the more I listen to it, the more I love it. I really, really fucking do. 3 pages of lyrics will tell you. Like I said, walking in the snow, just fuck.
What's the next category?
So overall beats, Jed, how are you on beats?
I'm pretty middle ground. My favorite were Ooh La La. I think Ooh La La is an all-time great beat. I fucking
right when it
love
first
that
started,
one.
I knew that with the fucking little grindy shit at the beginning.
I love that beat so fucking much. And Message for the Firing Squad.
Yeah.
I love that beat a lot too. It's so simple, and I wish it was more. I don't want to say I don't want the whole album to be more like that, but just tone it down a little bit. You know, like I said, LP's early production is even worse than this album was. Like it's more. There's so much shit going on in his early production, and it put me off on LP. He actually produced a couple songs for Aesop that weren't terrible. And I was like, do more like that, you know, like even those were busy, but they were better than his solo shit, you know, and so this one really threw me off initially. So I'm pretty middle ground on this. Like the beats I love, I fucking love, but nothing else really struck me, you know. They're all just kind of meh to good. You know, like I don't think any of them are great except for the 2 that I'm a fan of. You know,
Blake,
he hates them.
Like the only song that I liked was just the ones that I thought were all right were Out of Sight, Goonies vs. E.T., Walking in the Snow, and Pulling the Pin.
I like the Pulling the Pen beat
Those
too.
And then the rest, I like Yankee and the Brave. I didn't care for Ooh La La, Holy Calamafuck, Calamafuck, Never Look Back, The Ground Below, and A Few Words for the Firing Squad. I did not like any of those.
that last one's kind of surprising. Chris, you want me to go?
Go ahead.
I mean, yeah, I just and A Few Words for the Firing Squad, like hands down. Like I mean, the chorus and Walking Through the Snow was tight, but it's just like so much shit in everything else.
Yeah,
But it just so much shit going on. Just if you got a message, simple beats, that'll get your message across. That's
True.
If you don't want people to hear what you have to say, fucking throw 50 million hi-hats in there.
And
with
that
some
might
bass
have been
drums
my
and shit.
problem because I liked the beats, so they sucked me in instead of listening to what the fuck they were.
actually saying.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I have Walking in the Snow, Just, Never Look Back, Pulling the Pin, and Holy Calamafuck, the second half of it.
Yeah.
Those were my favorite beats.
Yeah, that beat switch and Holy Calamafuck, I really
Yeah.
like that beat switch.
Same.
All right, I guess we'll go to bars. Like, well, bars and flows and cadences, I guess.
I'm gonna sit this one out because I
Like I said,
didn't even write
I'm
anything down.
just doing lyrics because I have so much, and you guys are gonna have to go first on this because I have
I
several.
was like,
Like,
I know Jed's gonna have a
the-
lot.
oh yeah,
The very first one that jumped out to me was "You're a common cold, my flows are cancerous."
I got that one written
I
down.
was like, God damn.
Yep.
Like, so simple, but that has some sting on it.
Yeah, that was my second one that's written down here.
That was the first bar I actually heard, I think.
I only have 3.
Yeah, I wrote
I
down
didn't
three,
like it dig deep enough because I've been tired and it was hard.
I sat down on a Saturday and listened to it while reading the lyrics, and then like wrote them down or marked them so that I could write them down and have them because there's a lot in this fucking
the,
album. To
like the
digest.
ones that I liked were like 4 to 6 bars, and I'm like, I'm not just gonna bring a whole chunk.
Yeah, I did.
Might as well just wrap
I
it
did
up.
several
And
times.
then you said you had
Don't
3
worry.
pages.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll just do it.
Don't worry. I got you covered.
So my second one is friend saying he could be another Malcolm, he could be another Martin. She told my partner that she needs a husband more than the world needs another martyr. Mm-hmm. I was like, I mean, I could.
That was
That's deep.
Words for the Firing Squad, right?
Yeah.
Yep, I remember that. I remember that.
It just the way he was saying it with the beat, just dun 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 dun.
And he's talking about somebody talking to his wife. Yeah, and it's the way he does it is so fucking good.
It's and then fucking I got one from LP. It was on fuck I can't was it Just? I think it might have been on Just. It's like, man, you better duck out, get the bag and bug out. Try to run home. You might run your luck out. Because just when your base is loaded, they'll roll a grenade in the dugout.
Yep, I had that one too.
Like, why is that so funny to me?
That's from Just. Yeah. And it makes
Things
sense
are going
too.
good. Just swipe this fucking
Hey,
rug
here's a
out.
fucking grenade, bitch.
Yeah, and that's part of the reason I wrote it down, because it like the message there is like, just when you think you're doing great, they're gonna fucking throw something in your way to stop you. You know?
I don't know. Like, I'm imagining like the start of a fucking Call of Duty match. Someone just throws a grenade across the map.
Yeah.
Like, oh, fuck.
Boom!
Guess
Right
I'll
from the
respawn.
get-go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I had. That's all I could hear. Unfortunately.
I jotted down the one from Ooh La La. Got the send me and the hemi going, gimme, y'all. I thought that was pretty dope. Bitch, we cool as penguin pussy on the Polar Cap Peninsula.
Yep.
And I'm not so sure opportunity's knocking. It's probably the law.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty
Yeah, that one's
strong
good.
for not being very like wordy.
Yeah. So how many did we knock off? Well, 6. Did we knock 6
You
off?
knocked
6
off 2.
Ah.
He didn't hit any that I wrote down.
Wow,
I wrote
you didn't
down
hit the spot, Chris.
I wrote down fucking paragraphs, bro.
Like the whole songs.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, too, De La Roca's whole spiel. Oh my god,
I got some De La Roca on this one
That's
too.
probably my
So
favorite
you guys ready
verse on the
for
fucking
my
album.
dissertation?
Let's hear it.
I actually have the song and who sang it too.
Oh.
So, my first one, I'm afraid of nothing but nothingness ain't that something, from LP on Ooh La La.
Yeah.
I just love that. I love.
That's a very Jed bar.
Then the Killer Mike one from Holy Clam of Fuck. My flow, you're the common cold. My flows are cancerous. The next one I got is also from Holy Clam of Fuck from LP. Ayo, 1 for mayhem, 2 for mischief. Now aim for the drones in your zoning district. Hindenburg 'em, get 'em, burn 'em. Can't give the ghost up, no resistance. Pass the shit, Mike. I have to insist it. Reality sucks dick. How's that for wisdom? I
Yo,
love that
bars.
fucking line.
Turn your fucking beats down, bro.
Right?
God.
Then I got, now I understand that woke folk be playing. Ain't no revolution that's televised and digitized. You've been hypnotized and Twitterized by silly guys. Cues to evening news make you sure you're ill-advised. Got you celebrating the generators of genocide.
Yeah, that bar right there.
Killer Mike from Goonies vs. E.T. And then again, I just have walking in the snow and big letters and fuck written underneath
Bars.
it. It's so, that Killer Mike's verse especially is great, but there was an LP verse in there that his verse I loved a lot too. Part of the walking in the snow from Killer Mike was, all of us serve the same masters, all of us nothing but slaves, never forgetting the story of Jesus, the hero was killed by the state. I fucking love that line so much.
I can hear his voice saying it too.
I got your thing from Just from LP about the grenade in the dugout.
They roll a grenade in the dugout. Damn.
Zach De La Roca from Just. So I'm questioning this quest for things as a recipe for early death threatening, but the breath in me is weaponry. For you, it's just money. Like I love just fucking, and the way he delivers it was so fucking good too.
Yeah.
Let's see, LP from the ground below. Born from the ether, I just appeared out a cloud of reefer, screaming "fuck the world." It can drink what's coming out of my urethra.
Another
That just
Jet
made me
bar.
fucking laugh.
Another
I
Jet
love
bar.
it. From Pulling the Pen, LP. Hello, Void, longtime watcher, first time calling in. Every cage built needs an occupant. Got a deadbolt, see him, lock it in. Had a good run, but they stopping it. Want a Walkman in the coffin lid. Eat your heart out, fiction fan. Truly, the truth's the stranger document. I love that line. It's. I mean, you can read a lot into these bars. They're awesome.
You just can't hear a lot into them.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. The first time, if you look at the lyrics while you're listening to them, they're fucking great.
That's how I like my music. I like to read along.
Yeah, you got to think. It's called critical thinking, asshole. Just once, and then you can hear it after that. And then my last two were a few words from the firing squad. The first one's from LP. For the holders of a shred of heart, even when you want to fall apart, when you're surrounded by the fog, treading water in the ice cold dark, when they got you feeling like a fox running from another pack of dogs, put the pistol and the fist up in the air. We are there, swear to God. Love that shit. And then the other one's from Killer Mike, and it's the very end of A Few Words of the Firing Squad. And this is for the do-gooders that the no-gooders used and abused, for the truth-tellers tied to the whipping post felt beaten, battered, and bruised, for the ones whose body hung from a tree like a piece of strange fruit. Go hard. Last words for the last words for the firing squad was "fuck you too." And to end the song, to end the song with that that "Fuck You Too" is just, it was beautiful. I love the way they did it.
And Killer Mike snuck something in there. I can't remember what song where he's talking about. He like fears that he might be assassinated because of some of the shit he's saying, like the "Kill Your Masters" thing.
Because he popped up in WikiLeaks. Yeah, yeah. I can't remember what song that was too. I think that was "Walking in the Snow."
Fall as well.
That was "Walking in the Snow." I'm pretty sure. Well, was it
Maybe.
"Walking in the Snow"? I don't know. Like "Walking in the
that
Snow"
or
is
"Never
so
Look
much.
Back." I can't remember.
Yeah.
I think it was Walking in the Snow. So song, like my favorite song on that was "A Few Words with the Firing Squad."
Yeah.
Like bars, beat, their cadence, their all that shit. The message was
On
that
point.
to me. That was the best song.
Yeah.
Like they could have released that as a single, I'd fuck with it.
Yeah, I did watch a review. "Ooh La La" is all around my favorite song on the thing. But I watched a review where the guy was like, "That doesn't fit on this album with everything else that's going on, all the activism. Like Ooh La La doesn't feel like it fits on this album." And I understand that, but I like I said, that beat is one of my all-time favorite beats. I love that fucking beat. There was some killer bars in that song. It's less activism-y, and I think that's why it was better suited for the first two tracks of the album.
But it's still like anti-money-ish, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like
it
the,
had, but it was like toned down
Yeah.
compared to the rest of the album.
yeah,
You know?
more fun and vibey.
Yeah. It was like their radio edit kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And but that was my favorite song in the album, followed by I Love Just. I loved A Word from the Firing Squad. "Walking in the Snow" is a fucking masterpiece. I love that the lyricism in there is fucking mind-boggling. Even I think Killer Mike's verse on that song is the best I've heard in 5 years. Best verse I've heard in 5 years. But I think LP's verse is still great too. It's just overshadowed by how good and how timely Killer Mike's verse is.
Blake, favorite song? The whole
Song
album?
12.
The one that's not on the album.
Yeah.
Chris.
I knew you were gonna hate it. I knew
I
you were
don't
gonna hate
hate it. In my notes,
You can go over the overall in a second. Just pump the brakes.
I really liked "Yankee and the Brave," the first track,
The intro?
just out the gate. Yeah,
He had a bar in there was talking about he has like one bullet for all the cops or himself, and
yeah,
Yeah, Killer
talking
Mike.
about if he
It's
can
gonna be-
shoot at the cops or shoot himself in the head.
It won't be
in either way. It
suicide.
won't be suicide. That was one I forgot.
And then "Just" and "Ooh La La." "Just" I really like because it's like slave masters posing on your dollar bills.
Yeah,
Like,
that hook was dope.
God.
Yeah.
I like
Get it?
I sort of liked the song with 2 Chainz on it.
That's
Oh yeah, that was
but-
one thing I wanted to say too.
out of sight.
But
Yeah.
then like he started rapping weird and I was like,
Yeah.
2 Chain rapping
I
weird?
liked the
Yeah.
song, but it was like 3 different styles
right.
of
And I was
Yeah.
like,
And that to go back to your
"Chainz,
point
this
about
isn't your
yeah.
alley. Like stick to fucking stripper music and
Yeah, why is he on the album?
Yeah.
And that was my first thought was like, oh, I get Jake's point about the fucking Royce song. Was it West Side or Benny?
It was West Side.
West Side. Yeah, with West Side on it. I was like, this does not fit.
No.
But at the same time, like his lyric about if gonna buy a hot dog stand if I'm trying to be
Yeah.
frank,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
fucking laughed when I
liked
heard
that
that.
one.
He has
You know?
one-liners, like, for sure.
It's
But-
so good, but it's just like this does not work with this album.
No, it's like I was listening to it, like 2 Chainz is on this shit, bruh. Mm-hmm. All right, Blake, go ahead and shit on it. Overall, drop your draws.
It's just not my vibe. Not my vibe. I mean, I understand the whole activism thing. That shit's important. I get that. It's
You know,
just
fuck
not
Black
me.
Lives.
Yeah.
That's what Blake's
It's
saying.
just not me. You know, like
Yeah,
I don't have that bone in my body.
yeah,
I'd rather listen to you talk about your feelings and your girlfriend that you had 12 years ago. And I honestly, I would rather listen to that than listen to this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just not my vibe, but I get it. Kind of like how you were with Drake. Like, you know,
it's
there's-
basically the exact opposite.
I get it.
Like me with the Drake album and you with
Yeah.
this. Yeah,
I would, if anybody were to like ask me, hey, you know any like good, powerful message music or whatever, I would
2 Chainz.
I would recommend this album to them. Be like, hey, look, listen to this, man. These guys are really saying something. They're not wasting.
Quit throwing your mic.
No,
goddammit.
dude, it's like stripped out and shit.
If only you had,
But
like,
it's not like if you're gonna get something out of it if you listen to it. Mm-hmm. So overall, for me, I'd probably give it 2 stars
out of 2.
out of 5.
Out of 500.
5. Like I'd give it 2 just because Pharrell was on it. There we go.
Okay. And he's happy. Clap along.
Yeah. No, and like I said, it's just not my vibe. I get it though.
That makes sense. It's the same thing I was with Drake. So
Jed, do you want to balance out the bad energy?
this album was really hard for me. Lyricism wise, I think it was their best album. Beats wise, I think it was their worst. So it was weird. It was a weird thing. And like I said, the beats are growing on me. The more and more I listen to it, I enjoy them more. But there's a lot going on in those productions, and I don't like that style of LP production. I'm not a huge fan of it. It reminds me a lot of his early shit, and his early shit. I can pick maybe 2 songs out of his early 3 or 4 solo albums that I like, and I think that's what's coming at the roadblock for me. I've seen a lot of people say that's the album of the year, and I think that's mainly to do with the times we're living in.
Did they not hear Royce's album?
Probably not.
There's no way they can say.
Okay, I have a
album.
question.
Did Royce has come out this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like 2
literally.
months ago.
Yeah, we did it. Remember?
2 months ago? It feels like so much longer than that.
Well, because Corona hit, and just 2020's been like 5 years already.
Because
But I have a question. If Killer Mike wasn't on this album, would you listen to it? Say he LP replaced Killer Mike, same beat, same production,
replaced him with
Like-
anybody, or just it was a solo album?
anybody or just a solo, whatever. Just if Killer Mike wasn't on the album, would you still feel the same way?
I don't know. I don't know, honestly, because a big part. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from LP. His bars were pretty fucking hard. Like I said, there's a healthy balance of him and Killer
Right.
Mike that I pulled
Remember,
from.
they're cheating because one of them's black and one of them's white.
Yeah, so Blake's racist.
Yeah. If you don't like them, then you're racist.
The end of Walking in the Snow.
You
yeah.
got to finish the
Yeah.
songs to get what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
I made it. I got that minute and a half rule.
Like, all right, all right, wrap it up. But no, that's honestly a hard question for me to answer, because I think a big part of why I enjoyed it so much was Killer Mike, and it was when they first got together, I was like, how the fuck is this gonna work? Because they're so different styles, like. And I didn't know a whole lot about Killer Mike. I knew he was associated with Outkast vaguely, but that was about the extent I knew Killer
Yeah,
Mike when
he
him and
was-
LP got together.
He was involved with the whole like Sleepy Brown, CeeLo Green. all
The whole Atlanta scene.
Yeah.
So if Killer Mike was replaced with somebody on this album, I don't think it would have worked.
Really?
I really don't. That's tough though, because like I said, LP does have some bars on this album, but I don't think they would have reached the heights they did without Killer Mike. You know, having said all that and said what I said previously, I give this a 3 out of 5 for me. It's a great fucking lyric album. The beats I can see turning people off, and I can, like Blake said, if you can't get into it from the get go, your message is shit, And unfortunately, like the best fucking verse on this album is the second half of Walking in the Snow. So if you can't get through that first half because you don't like the beat, you're not going to hear it. And I think that does a disservice to that verse and to this album in general, because these beats are rough, man. They
I
are
want to
rough.
say something about that. rappers, I know you're never going to hear this. Stop having split songs where one is trash and the other one is fire. Just make it all fire.
But then you
I
got
hate when they
but
do
then you
that
got songs
shit.
like fucking like Drake does that shit. Like he'll do like a minute and a half song that's fucking fire.
Right.
And it's like, no, don't stop.
Then then
talking about, like-
there's the ones that, like Jake said, they're not long enough. It's like, why did you fucking do that? You could have went 8 minutes on this
you
bitch.
fucking put the tip in. I didn't like it.
But so are you saying like a beat switch, or just they make a song too short instead of
Well,
dragging it out?
like on that song, you said the first half of
Half.
it was
Holy clam of fuck.
was
I didn't like it.
right,
Yeah.
and then it's like, okay, now that's fucking over with. Let's get to the actual good part of the song.
Well, okay, Walking in the Snow is different though. Because LP's verse is still good, but the beat, I could see the beat turning somebody off, so they don't get
Okay, I see
to
what
Killer
you're
Mike's
saying.
verse.
So what if they put that part of LP's verse in the first part of Holy Clamafuck with the dope beat in the front too?
Walking in the holy clam, fuck.
Yeah.
Well, and see, that's the thing is like, I don't like the beat on the first half of Holy Clam of Fuck, but I don't think it would work if you switched it around.
Maybe not.
Like the way that beat switch
Clamafuck,
happens,
Holy fuck.
that way that beat switch happens fits perfectly, and I love that. You know, like I think that's the reason I enjoy the second half of that beat so much, is because the first one was there in the first place.
The first one set the bar so low.
Well, not even that. It's just it was. One, I'm a huge fan of beat switches in songs. Like Kendrick Lamar has done it a couple of times that I've fucking loved. There,
I am if it's fire.
yeah, there are several songs.
Travis Scott does it a lot.
Freddie Gibbs and Madlib did it on
Yeah.
Half Man, Half Cocaine, where it goes from like a Madlib beat to a trap beat, and it fucking works perfectly. And that's probably my favorite song on that album. And so I love a beat switch when it's done right.
Frank Ocean does it a lot too.
Yeah, I almost texted you guys today because I'm trying to find more people that I haven't listened to. I tried to search for Bone Crusher and found a fucking hardcore metal band, and it was weird.
Wow.
Yeah,
Is it Crusher or Crusher?
it auto corrected to ER. So
Oh, wow.
Fucking
Spotify's
racist ass
racist.
fucking Samsung.
but
So that's why you never text the word nigga.
well, that and I'm white. I might be invited to the barbecue, but it didn't fully take effect.
You sure as fuck ain't cooking.
Dude, God no.
Not bringing potato salad.
Nope.
Chris?
It was tough for me. Because I like LP's style and I like Killer Mike a lot.
They complement each other really well.
They do. Some of the songs I didn't like the flows on. It's like they were just talking into the mic again. And
You let the mic.
some of the beats, like as wacky as they are, I appreciate them because you can hear the layers and the time behind them, and like the skill involved that LP has to make them. But they just don't fit for a message type album.
Yeah.
They should have been like just barsy type songs if they're going
Like
to go
Royce
crazy.
did.
Yeah.
I would argue that the
Or throw some melody in there somewhere. There was no harmony in this album.
Maybe that's what it was too. But
It
like
was all
with the beats,
Like, where are the chords at?
Yeah.
like what you said with the beats, I would say like putting time in doesn't necessarily mean it's good. Like you
True.
can overcook shit.
Yeah,
So I think a lot of these beats were overcooked.
I agree. And
Like,
too
just-
jam packed with.
Well, and he
So many
probably doesn't
sounds.
know how to properly engineer.
Yo, hit up Blake,
Motherfucker,
bro.
he's been doing this shit
Hit
for
up.
30 years.
And still doing that shit.
But that
Yeah.
being
Still making
said,
beats like that.
all the songs were engineered
Yes.
by other. Like he produced them,
Right.
But they mix and mastered.
So maybe that was the sound he was wanting, like kind of like how RZA is, just
That's what he was going for with this
completely
album.
different.
But
Yeah.
like,
I mean-
some songs that have a message to them may only have 6 fucking samples. You got a drum kit, a melody progression, and a sample of some sort. He probably had fucking 60 samples in some of these beats.
Yeah.
It's like no shit. The
Christ.
fucking track list was probably huge.
I couldn't
I would have
even
hated to
imagine.
engineer that shit.
Yeah.
and
You'd
then
have to have, like,
panning
a
them
fucking
and
big-ass
automation
TV.
and oh my
No.
Yeah, and like I said, when we're done here, I want to show you some guys, some early LP shit because it is fucking bananas.
Good thing I haven't
You know?
eaten yet.
It's really fucking weird.
But I think the timing is excellent for the album. They're brilliant because they probably saw this shit like starting to pop off and scheduled it around maybe.
No,
No, there's no way.
There's no
Like,
way they planned it. I think it was just a culmination of things, and it happened to concur with everything. You know,
I bet it was like probably just sitting there and like the engineers were just kind of going through it, and then this shit popped off and they're like, hurry up, get this shit done. Put
I mean,
this shit
because we've
out.
had this plan
Possible.
for
yeah, this
forever.
has been. I mean, it was originally planned to drop a week ago from when we were recording this. A month before that,
Yeah.
they announced it was going to be released a month before it dropped. And what was it? 2 weeks
Okay.
ago that did the George
Yeah.
Floyd shit happen, and then
yeah.
they just said fuck it. Like they put out a message it's like fuck it, the world's gone to shit. Here's some shit, you know. And they released it for free. You could donate whatever you wanted if you wanted to buy it, you know. And anything that people paid for the album, they immediately donated it. So they didn't get a single cent off the digital sales of this album.
Hey, respect.
I like it. It was just hard to listen to. Like I can't just like rock with it in the car.
Would you listen to it again? Like
Yeah.
just for
Not like freely, but I'll listen to it alongside of 2, 3, and 4 because I want to see like the progression or the difference between the albums.
Yeah.
But like, I'd probably rock with Just and Ooh La La. They may go on a playlist of mine or something, but the rest is kind of just like this is like music I would listen to if I'm soul searching or thinking about society, not like trying to listen to music and just jam out.
drowning
Yeah.
in white guilt.
Yeah, exactly.
Not drowning. He's just kind of treading water.
Oh,
like,
swimming in white guilt. Sorry, you guys can swim. I forget.
Hey, I have nothing to do with that.
See, that's problematic.
You're right. You're right. Well, I acknowledge that you can swim.
I mean, if you put me in their basket, why the fuck shouldn't I be in the basket? I'm not a fan of them either, God damn it.
Wow. So you're
2 out of 5 as well. Ish.
Blake's a trendsetter.
I do like I liked most of the production, but it was pretty wacky, and I understand like
It's off-puttingly busy,
yep.
and that was the big thing for
Busy
me.
and no harmony really. There were no chord progressions, melody, no singing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but you guys have all hit the points that I would make. So my rating is, I'd give it 3/4 mile out of a mile because it's Run the Jewels,
That's
Get it?
not what Run the Jewels means.
but it has run in it. So
Yeah, that's what run means.
yeah, I know.
So you
That's
got
what
your
run means.
so you're a third of the way of
There it is. That's what I was going for.
you're a third of the way of 3/4 of a mile.
Yeah, like it was 3 songs maybe max. Other ones I didn't hate, but I'm not gonna listen to again.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So
I do think an instrumental album would be dope to listen to because the instrumentals were so busy. Like by themselves, they might shine, but with activist lyrics on top, I think it was just too much.
I feel like if you're
show
epileptic
you-
with hearing, you shouldn't listen to this album.
To show you how crazy Run the Jewels is, they did their album Run the Jewels 3. They did a remix called Meow the Jewels
I heard about that.
that all the beats were cat sounds.
Jesus Christ.
So that tells you the kind of how they started out and
Yeah.
how they've grown into like a more of an activist group with this album.
So they're basically like us. Like they started out getting super shit faced,
And
or we
memeing-
started out getting super shit faced.
Memeing on the mic.
Yeah, just memeing on the mic. You know, it's if this is your entry point to Run the Jewels, don't start here. I don't start here. You know, I think 2 is the place to start. 1 isn't terrible, but it's kind of you can tell they're kind of figuring themselves out at that point. Honestly, I think all their albums are great. I wouldn't say great. I say above average. We'll say that. I think 2 and 3 are great. I think as a whole thing, there was a bar I didn't write down in there that kept popping up when I was listening to it for the last couple of days, where LP is talking about how if he hears about a future where Run the Jewels and the shit, he's going to turn his Hitler killing time machine around 100 years.
That's the 4-liner I almost wrote down.
Yeah, that one fucking kills me every time.
Turn the time machine back a century.
Yeah. And I stand by. I think Run the Jewels is the best duo group out right now, and has been since 2012. I think when RTJ1 dropped.
I'd still rather listen to Run the Jewels' first album over Drake's first mixtape.
Yeah, I mean,
With all this being said,
yeah,
I mean, that was a mixtape though, so it's kind
Yeah.
of apples and oranges there. It's
we get it. You don't like black people, Chris.
No, he
Black
doesn't.
Canadians.
relentless with this shit.
He likes one black person, Killer Mike.
Oh yeah. Well, 2 if you count me and Blake.
I
That's
don't
true.
like very
Well,
many people, period. Don't give a damn what color anyone is. You all suck.
But yeah, that fucking gangster boo line at the end of the Walking in the Snow crap. They cheating. 'Cause one of them is white and one of them is black. So if you don't like them, you automatically racist. And then that just ends the song.
Then they had a line in there something about if you don't like Run the Jewels and you hate the troops.
Yeah.
It's pretty clever.
And that's
Pretty
I
good
think
soundbite.
that ties back into that kind of the way they decided to form the group. You know, because like I said, they were two 40-year-olds. They're like, man, we missed out on that whole fucking braggadocious rap scene. Let's just do that. You know, like we think it's funny that we're two 40-year-olds rapping like we're 12 again. You know, and that's how this group started, and it just progressively grew into this activist shit. You know, which I love. I
would have
that
liked
is
to
where it's
see
gone.
someone like Waka on this album.
What?
See, I don't think he would have fit, and that's the thing. Is
Like,
like
if 2 Chainz didn't fit, Waka's not fitting.
yeah, it's
I don't know. I think Waka's pretty smart, like compared to
he knows what he's doing.
what 2 Chainz offered for the album.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, it's. I
will say
don't think I
though
agree with that.
the
Just
feature,
from the interviews I've seen Waka in, I'm like, it seems like he's got a decent head on his shoulders for some of the
I mean,
shit.
2
he's doing.
Chainz does too.
2
Like,
Chainz
2
does,
Chainz is a
yeah.
smart motherfucker.
Okay.
he knows exactly what he's playing for. Like I like 2 Chainz. He just didn't fit on this
It's-
album.
It almost makes me wonder if that's what they wanted him to do.
Mhm.
Because like I don't know how that shit works. I don't know if they say, hey, just send me some shit and I'll put it on, or hey,
I
we're
think
doing
they
this
send
song.
him the beat and what they have recorded, and they're like, "Hey, do your shit."
I mean, at the end of the day, they paid for it. So
Yeah,
like if that's what they wanted on there, that's what they got. So
and it could have been one of those things too, where they're like, "You know what? People love 2 Chainz. Let's get him on the album just to get fucking
Yeah.
more ears on the album."
I get
you
that
know?
too.
And I don't hate that. Like I get that. I understand that.
but like lyrically, I'd take 2 Chainz over Waka. Waka.
I don't know.
Waka.
That's another song I have to show you. Is Prof featuring Waka. It's a song called Ape Shit, and he fits perfectly on that song. But it's a song about going ape shit, and the
Sounds
music
like
video is a fucking white cop running rampant, and so that whole Waka fits with that shit, you know.
Or like Joyner. Joyner would have been awesome.
Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
I could see Joyner. But again, it has to be the right song. Because if it's with one of these fucking weird ass beats that are too loud and you can't hear what Joyner's saying,
Yeah,
then it kind of defeats the purpose.
yeah, and that's the thing is I hope with Run the Jewels 5 they tone down the beats a little bit, amp up the message because that you guys are fucking nailing it there. There's no complaints lyrics wise.
Like
At
maybe
all.
not tone down the beats, but turn down the beats.
I just
'Cause
I
they're
think
loud.
they're too busy. I don't care about
Even if they're busy, just
Yeah.
if I don't have to hear every fucking thing,
yeah, that's true.
like you just turn the shit down. If I had an option to turn the beats up and turn the fucking vocals up on my phone,
Yeah.
I would have turned the vocals up or turned the beats down a little bit.
Well, then
Yeah.
you would become an engineer.
I would. I wouldn't be on a podcast with you fucks.
All right, and that is the end of this.
Blake is officially shutting this shit down.
Got to go fight, throw hands. Yeah, I mean, I guess might as well wrap it up, huh?
I mean, he wasn't serious, but yeah, I guess it's time.
Oh, I thought he was.
Yeah, I don't know. It's that's the thing is like because when I suggested we do this for a new release, I was so bummed when that initial thing because it's like, oh, these guys are gonna fucking hate it, And then the more I listened to it, I was like, no, I can see why everybody would like aspects of this album, except for Blake. I knew, no offense, I knew you were gonna hate it from the
So
get-go.
you first heard it, you're like, Blake is
gonna hate this shit.
Yeah, Blake is
I knew
Randy
right
Jackson
away.
is so bad.
I knew right away you're gonna hate it. And the more I delved into it, I was like, okay, I can see where Jake would like certain aspects of it. I haven't figured out you yet, so I'm still kind of getting there with you. I thought you would like it more than you did, honestly. I'm honestly kind of surprised because
I didn't listen to it blitzed, so I still have to try that.
I didn't either.
It's a different
I
perspective.
listened to
neither,
it
totally.
100% straight while I was at work. So
Yeah.
you actually rated it higher than me, and that surprised me. Like I said, I think lyrically wise, this is their best album. It's just those beats, man. The beat selection, it didn't do it for me. And 1, 2, and 3, I think they're better introductions to Run the Jewels than this one was. But having said that, I still think it's a fantastic album. I think everybody should give it a chance.
It's not album of the year.
It's
just simmer down.
Well, and see, like right now, my two choices for album of the year are Alfredo by Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist, and this.
Really?
Yeah,
Over Royce?
over Royce.
That's honestly that's kind of surprising.
Well, one,
It hurts your soul.
I'm really big on Freddie Gibbs right now. The fact that he
Well,
did a banger album with Madlib and then did a banger album with
But
Alchemist.
Freddie Gibbs isn't on RTJ4.
He's not. But I'm saying those are my two. Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist, Alfredo, and RTJ4 are my two albums of the year. Right?
Yeah, and I was saying you picked RTJ4 over Royce's,
Yes.
and I was like, oh, that's
But it's
Weird.
I mean, it's subjective.
it's not. This is
objective. Fuck you.
this is the most objective thing we've ever
objective.
done.
Objective. You know, I always get those fucking
No,
wrong.
you said it right
No,
the first
You
time.
were right.
Oh,
He's
okay.
fucking with you.
Yeah, fuck you then. It's subjective.
Even
God damn it.
I got on that.
He's confusing me even more because I always fuck those two up. So it's subjective. I prefer those two albums over Royce's album.
Like
So-
subjective, subject. You, one person. Me, subjects.
Apes together strong.
Yes.
I'm gonna forget that after this night's over. So, but no, it's just, personally, I like those two albums more than Rice. I can see why he's in the conversation. So, I mean, for me, honestly, it's Alfredo, RTJ4, Royce.
I'll have to check out Alfredo.
It's fucking fantastic. Freddie Gibbs is shooting up my fucking charts right now, man. Like, I even went back and listened to his album before Bandana and Pinata came out with Madlib. And that one's fucking great. Like,
Have you
I
ever heard
really
Neighborhood Hose?
I don't know.
It's one of my
I'm-
favorite Freddie Gibbs songs.
Yeah,
it's
I'll
actually
have
the first song I ever
I'll have
heard
to
from
check
him.
it. The one I remember, because there's the first one I listened to was Bandana, and then Pinata was the other Madlib one, his first Madlib one. And then there was one where it's like, I want to say it's a pink background and him like chilling on the cover, kind of like the Michael Jackson cover, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah, that was the other one I listened to, and that one was fucking great too. But Alfredo dropped, I want to say 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it's Alchemist has produced that one, and it is fucking great. I shared the 1985 where he's got that line. It's like Michael Jordan. It's 1985, bitch. I travel with the cocaine circus.
Yeah.
It's so fucking good. Like his flow, his cadence, and the fact that he can do it. Because I mean, Alchemist and Madlib are two completely different producers. Like the sound they make are way different from each other, and the way he can work with both of them and make it fit. I can't find a bad song on Bandana or on Alfredo. Like, and it blows me away because that's not something I didn't expect to like Freddie Gibbs like that, but I do not have a song that I don't like on those two albums. It's amazing to me. I've listened to those two albums and RTJ3 or RTJ4 to start my day every day this week. Like, that's my first 3 hours of the day is Alfredo, Bandana, and RTJ4.
Sounds like a lot of grimy stuff.
I love it. For somebody who's never done cocaine, I listen to a lot of cocaine rap.
Yes, you do. Fucking
A lot of it. I love Pusha T too.
Pusha T.
Yeah. Which he also did the jingle for Arby's. And I think McDonald's too.
Pusha T did I'm Loving It.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about I'm Loving It, but we have the meats. He definitely did that jingle. And I was fucking blown away. This man does cocaine and Arby's
I'm
beats.
sure he did cocaine.
Yeah. Well, you know.
He's rich. He probably does cocaine. That's the white man's drug. But
yeah, that blew my mind when I found out he did the Arby's jingle.
have we talked about The Last Dance? I don't know if we talked about that.
I think we briefly went over it.
A little bit.
Yeah.